And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicinda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard, and skincare alchemy in the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire here at Plus One EXP is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games, and amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways, but during Zine Month, every February, for RPGZine Month, we sit down at least once a week and talk about some projects that have caught our eye. Every week this year, I've had my co-host Quinn with me. Quinn, you want to tell people who you are, what you do, where folks can find you on the internet?
Sure. Hey, hi, howdy, y'all. I'm Quinn Blackwell. I do a little writing, a little bit of game designing, mostly at Quinn Blackwell. I also work with Plus One as the production pal. I make sure that stuff stays moving. But yeah, outside of that, I just hang out.
Have you had a chance to go back yet and look at the train wreck of last week's stream?
Absolutely not.
If you missed last week, we had to start and stop at least 4 times. I did
Fun
find out
times.
that day and the next day there were systemic internet issues across the country, but largely in the Northeast. So I am relatively sure that had to do with it. But who knows? We'll see. I also ran an update before we went live tonight on the software, so let's hope we don't have the kind of cursed stream that we had with JP last week. It was a great time, though.
I'm really surprised that your guys' stream took down so much of the internet.
We are, you know what? When we go wrong, we go hard. And so, yeah, we have another special guest, hopefully, who won't be as cursed as JP. We talked about putting them both in the same stream, but there wasn't room for that much. Cool. Michael, you want to tell people who you are, what you do, and a little bit about where they can find you on the internet?
Absolutely. My name is Michael Putlack, and my little publishing outfit is called Night Noon Games. You can find me on Blue Sky at nightnoon.games or just on the regular internet at nightnoon.games as well is the URL. I publish mostly for Shadowdark, and I've been doing it since about 2020. Well, not for Shadowdark, but in general. And also when I'm not working on my own stuff, I am the assistant librarian for the Arcane Library, where I help Kelsey with logistics, customer support, strategy, things like that. I also write for Roll for Combat, and then I work with JP as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. One of my favorite things about you, which there are a lot of them, is you were one of the few people I feel like who every once in a while people would be like, it'd be cool if Plus One did this. And I'd be like, it'd be cool if anyone did that stuff. Like, we can't do everything. And you took that really seriously a few years ago and just started doing little content pieces to support conversations you wanted to see happening. I always love it when somebody else does a cool thing that they thought we should do, and I'm like, but what if you just did it? And you did.
Yeah. It really pissed me off, Tony. I was like, hey, here's this, you should do this. And you're like, well, why don't you do it? I'm like, God damn it. Now I don't have
God
a
damn it, you're right.
Yeah.
And look at you now, assistant librarian. What are if you had to name 3 qualities of a good assistant library in an assistant librarian in an arcane library? What are those 3 qualities? You don't have to have
Organization.
them. You just have to name
No,
what
no,
they should be.
it's definitely organization because the head librarian doesn't always have that. It is probably other qualities. Yeah. Okay, two other good qualities for the American librarian. Outgoing, I think, is good. I feel like I'm in a job interview here. And
You already have the
yeah,
job, so
schmoozing.
schmoozing.
I'm a good schmoozer at cons and stuff in a way that Kelsey struggles with sometimes. So I'm now like, she's like, you go to those after parties at cons. I will,
Yeah.
you take care of it for me. I'm like, okay, that sounds fun.
If I have to go hang out with fun people and have a good time as punishment,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
What are 3 great qualities of a head librarian in an arcane library?
Write a damn good RPG system, definitely. Believe in yourself, which is as corny as it sounds. It's how Kelsey got to where she is today by betting on herself. And probably just being a really nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kelsey's all those things.
Yeah.
So while you were here in your role at Night Noon Games, we are going to talk a decent amount about Shadow Dark. And while I think today, just because there's a number of projects we're going to touch on that have that as its core system, for folks who aren't familiar with Shadow Dark, can you give us the elevator pitch of kind of like what the system is all about, what it's doing distinctively?
Yeah, for sure. So if you're familiar with old school D&D, it's a derivative of basic expert D&D, but it's got modern mechanics tacked on to make it more approachable for new players who may only be familiar with 5e, or who just or just for people who are getting into D&D in general, because it's a much smoother system. It's much more accessible. Some big differences we have is we have a roll to cast spell casting system. So you roll a dice to cast a spell the same way you'd swing your sword. If you succeed on that, then the spell works and you can keep casting it. But once you fail, you can't cast it again for the rest of the day. We also put an emphasis on torchlight and light in general, because light is supposed to be, or darkness rather, is supposed to be scary. So you light a torch because none of the players can see in the dark. None of them have infravision, X-ray vision, whatever. And so you have to have that light to see. The GM starts a real-time torch timer. And once that goes out, the players are plunged into darkness, and then bad things happen. Yeah, that's the brief pitch.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into our projects for the night with another thing that you are working on. We're gonna dive in with Hellfast Spire. I've got the page up next to us. It's doing all right. It is currently sitting at a little over 1,200 backers, a little over $45,000. 16 days to go. Transparency also too. We're doing fulfillment for this project. You are working on this project, and so, but we did put this project right up top just so we could talk a little bit about what Bob is doing in this project, but also because it's connected to you. I wanted to make sure we talked about it. So, tell us a little bit about Under the Shadow of Hellfast Spire.
Yeah, so Bob World Builder, he's a little obscure D&D internet personality that you may have heard of, maybe not. Has written this Shadow Dark book, and really the idea was to kind of replicate the curse scrolls that Kelsey makes, which include so it includes new character classes, it includes a hex crawl, adventuring site, and then it also has a dungeon in there as well. There's something like 30 new monsters, a bunch of new magic items, and then there's a bunch of other great stuff like that too. So you can really take this and play like a mini campaign with your group, or you can take the Cold Catacombs dungeon and you can plug it into any existing campaign. It's been a lot of fun to work on with Bob. He really has put a lot of his heart into this thing, which is like really exciting and fun to see. And I am not only helping him with running this Kickstarter campaign and helping him by coordinating with you on the logistics, but I'm also the editor on the zine as well. It's just over $45,000 now, which has definitely exceeded our expectations, which is a great thing to see, and we really appreciate everyone who's come out to support it, and it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, you can get it for as little as $18 plus shipping, or I guess $16 plus shipping, because it's during the Kickstarter campaign, and then you can also get that bundled with some of my stuff, some of Bob's other writing stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So. Yeah.
One of my favorite things about it is Bob did their own art for it also too. Not exclusively their own art, but for I believe the Veil map and a couple other elements. Like hand did all the drawing and a few other things as a specific, like, it's Zine Month. I want to get zine-y. I'm gonna put my own art in this, and I think it turned out really great. Like, I love to see that sticky fingers, like hands-on kind of approach. I don't do it. But I do love it when other people do, and I was super excited to kind of see it. Quinn, what are some of your first thoughts looking through the page?
I truly love something that can have so much stuff in it without having to break like 80 to 100 pages. I think that there are so many things that are constantly coming out. And hey, some of them need all the space that they can use. But whenever I see something that is within a page count that I'm willing to actually read and consume, always more excited about it.
Yeah, it's 64 pages, so it is pretty succinct. And that's sort of like in keeping with that Shadow Dark writing style that Kelsey has kind of made part of the what it means to write something for Shadow Dark. It is succinct, it is, to the point, and it is to like really get you there quickly. So it's much more succinct than me describing it, of course.
I also love it. Now I want to talk a little bit about this because this is the first thing we pulled up that's for Zine Month that has had a Dagger Heart supplement. What are the difference between Death at Hellfast Spire and Under the Shadow? Are they essentially similar but just system translated, or is there kind of a difference between how you approach looking at Death at Hellfast Spire versus Under the Shadow of Hellfast Spire?
Sure. Death at Hellfast Spire was actually a campaign, or I shouldn't say a campaign, an adventure that Bob wrote for Daggerheart that he was actually going to run for Matt Mercer at some point, and then a snowstorm happened and Matt couldn't get to PAX U in time or something like that. But that is a 16-page adventure that kind of is an introduction to that region. And after Bob wrote that, he thought about it a lot, and he just kind of had this just like a tingle in the back of his brain that he wanted to revisit it, and he thought that Shadow Dark would be a good system to do that in. So, it's something kind of interesting that we're trying out here. We have items of Bob's available for a few different systems, because there's also a zine available if you get like the everything tier, or if you want to add it on, a zine for Dungeon Crawl Classics as well. So if you are just interested in that region of Hellfast, we do have a 2-pack, which is just the two Hellfast zines, one of them for Daggerheart, one of them for Shadow Dark. So if you're someone that likes exploring different systems, trying out new things, you can kind of do both. And I will say Hellfast Spire, the original Hellfast Spire, or sorry, I'm getting myself confused now. The Daggerheart version, I believe, if it's not the best-selling Daggerheart supplement on DriveThru RPG, it's been up there since it came out. I think it's been in the top 10, and it's been out for the better part of a year, if not more than a year. So he's been really happy with that. But personally, I'm excited to see that he's made the switch over to Shadow Dark for this project, and we're also working on another project too that I can't not really ready to divulge yet, but it'll be coming hopefully this year. So
awesome, super excited. Closing in on that $50,000 stretch goal. Want to point out to people, Bob does have a lot of other things that you can get on this also. When you see that big number, it's coming from that, but there are a lot of love for what's happening here. Page is really well put together. Excellent use of GIFs to kind of get a little bit more visuals on the real estate. Like really solid page. It's got that projects we love for Kickstarter. 16 days left to go. Really excited to kind of see where it heads. But let's pop to our next project.
Well, Tony, can I actually ask you a question? I don't think we've asked you, but Bob is in Pennsylvania. When you guys get those boxes in, can he come shoot a little footage for his
YouTube
man,
we would love that. Like I actually was really hopeful, because Bob is so close that he would be able to come down and do some things. So yeah, absolutely would love to have him out for the pack out process and stuff like that, or just to swing by. Everybody at our warehouse plays games and loves games, and most of them are games designers. So if Bob, we wanted to come down and make a day of it, we could play some Hellfast Spire and park some, and then ship some Hellfast Spire also too. So we can certainly chat about that. Would love to make that happen.
And remember what you promised me, Tony, that every envelope you're going to personally give a little kiss to.
I'm going to little kiss.
Put it in the mail.
Yeah. So if you pay extra, you get three beard hairs sealed into a wax seal.
Great!
Like the Kings used to do. That's the unnamed pledge level stretch goal on the campaign. I did drop that right here. 3 of my beard hairs tucked into your shipment. Cool. Let's hop over to another shameless self promotion. Let's talk about Merker of Morks. This was mine. The page is also going to look a little different because I can see the back end of it and forgot to log out beforehand. But Merker of Morks is a Borgverse battle royale compatible with a lot of things, is what we're going to talk about next. The pitch for this one is in a space between all the different dimensions of the Borgverse. All of your favorite Borgs like Fastgrim, Pirate Borg, Mork Borg, Punk is Dead, all kinds of things. All of the scum have been pulled into a central weird liminal space with a big bad evil named Mr. Least, forcing them to compete for prizes and their very lives against each other. I was super excited when Nishant approached us about this project, mainly because I always like an interesting thing with Morkborg. There's a lot of great Morkborg titles out there. There's a lot of stuff that is just out there also too. And I will say the thing I love the most about it, and I'll let y'all take a look at the page, is I really love how visually distinct this crew was able to pull things together and make something that looked very distinctive while still feeling very Morkborg, because I think that's a real big challenge a lot of the time, especially with kind of a cross-dimensional reality to it. This one is getting close to funding. It's still got a little ways to go. Hopefully it'll fund today or tomorrow, or just less than a couple $100 off the goal. But yeah, what are some of y'all's thoughts about Merker of Morks?
I'm really interested in one of those mock-ups, how it has like actual photography of people in it, which looks like to be some sort of a, what's going on with that? Tell me more about that, Tony.
You're talking about depressed at the
Yeah,
top?
depressed?
Let me pull in a little closer so people can actually see what the hell we're talking about. I'm not going to make it pretty. I'm just going to do it real quick. But yeah, so that is about what happens when a character dies. And so depressed is the question that you ask because you lost a beloved character. And it is, how about roll up a new one? And it's kind of emphasizing how fast rolling a character is. So you'll see that there is a old decrepit wizard in the top corner, and then a rippling muscle wizard with a flowing beard that is in an orb down below these two doctors. There were Discord vote conversations about how many doctors should appear in this, and we did land on 2, and 2 was the right answer out of 0, 1, or 2. 2 was what we ended up landing on, but it is a favorite page of mine. Also, if you look on the other side of that spread, you'll see that there's all these little like goblins, but they are made out of like kit bashed weird like hand flesh things, and that is the goblins in this one are really, really freaky, really weird, and a lot of them are just little kit bashed funky flesh dudes, which I think is a great articulation of what goblins are in a lot of the Merkborg universe also too. But yeah, that's about what you do when a character dies and how easy it is to roll up a new one. Quinn, what are your thoughts?
This is a tiny peek behind the scenes as well, but I've really just been enjoying how much fun they've been having, just crafting up stuff in the background. Every once in a while, I'll click on the channel and it's just like, oh, there's like 40 new messages in here, and it's just them going back and forth talking about these nasty little things that they've made up, and I am. Truly, it is the most Borg thing that you can that you can think of. But yeah, from everything I've seen, they look like they're having a lot of fun working on it. So.
Yeah, Michael, I thought you were going to ask about the other spread on there, which is the final stage acid noon space. Which the first time I saw it and they were asking for feedback, I said more butthole. Because it does kind of look like one, which about 2 weeks later, Keegan saw it and was like, should I mention how much of a, like, that looks like a butthole? And I was like, oh no, you should go read my comment when they first posted it. But like, they're doing these really interesting, weird, like video game blended elements of it. Like this is like, like bringing things like Predator Killer vibes meets Across the Spider-Verse meets Spy Kids is a really weird vibe. But yeah, I'm super excited for this group to start unlocking stretch goals. They've got a couple small ones. Recluse Nishant, the primary creator, had a Kickstarter project they had done before that failed with some other people who kind of just like left it hanging, and so was really hesitant to do this, and they've just dove in a really cool way, and it's really cool to see how well it's been it's been going through the whole thing. So any final thoughts on Merker of Morks?
It looks cool. The art looks rad.
Yeah, I said,
super rad.
That like, if you're gonna do Morkborg, my ask for anybody is just make it look like your own thing. I constantly call out like Chris Bissett does such a good job making their adventures look like their own adventures, regardless of what system they're for. And lots of times it's still like Johan or someone doing the cover. So it's not just the artistic style. There's distinctive choices that Chris makes that give a really distinctive visual style to theirs. Because I think it's really tempting with Morkborg stuff to just be like weird fonts, crazy. And you can do that, but like think through your layout choices still. And be really intentional about it as you're going through any of that stuff. So, yeah, folks want to go check it out. Would love to get it funded today. Also, if you're a Morkborg creator, there is a pledge level on there that you can pledge that will just unlock us putting something from your Morkborg creation into the adventure. And so feel free to hit that level because it will just put it over funding also too. Awesome. Michael, this is going to be back to you, I think. We're going to talk a little bit about Outcast Unseelie and the Ooze Between. It's another Shadow Dark project. You want to tell us a little bit more about this one, or I can vamp for a second about it also, too?
Yeah, sure. This one's by my buddy Jesse Winter, who recently published another Shadow Dark module, his first one, about 4 or 5 months ago, that was really well received on Between Two Cairns especially. And the Unseelie Ooze is his next venture into this, which I'm really excited for. I haven't played through it myself, but he's got great layout skills. He's got great ideas. Cameron Moss, who I know you covered his Reservoir zine last week, did the art for it. So I'm really excited to see what he has going on. He also, full disclosure, I guess, is one of the Shadow Dark booth boys too. So he does come to some cons with us and helps sling Shadow Dark, which is really fun. But he's got I play with him in my weekly game. We met on Reddit 1.5 years ago or 2 years ago. He's like, hey, does anyone want to play Shadow Dark in Northern Colorado? And I said, yeah, let's do that. And now we're really good buddies. So yeah, it's a lot of fun hanging out with him. And I think that people are going to enjoy this product. And if they want to get A Haunting in Glass, which is his last adventure, that'd be cool too. Oh, and I should mention this is a puzzle dungeon too.
We love a puzzle dungeon.
It started as part of the Direct Sun Puzzle Dungeon Jam that happened earlier this year, which is also where Reservoir came from. Mm-hmm. And Jesse impressed Direct Sun so much that he actually laid out one of his recent projects as well. So
that's cool. Yeah, the visuals on this are tremendous. Quinn, while you're taking a look, I'm going to read the purple prose. The mountain bled now powers from beyond slake their thirst. Bordering the long-abandoned Brackenhorg mines, a lone gatehouse suffers both from the churn of a mysterious ooze and the encroaching domain of a fey lord. Test your mettle in a dungeon swamped by a potent arcane ooze and terrors that go bump in the night. Will your players learn the secrets of the ooze, or need to find enough treasure, or need to find enough treasure to afford a priest? Quinn, what are your thoughts about it?
I'm just truly flabbergasted by how many absolute heaters came out of the Puzzle Dungeon Game Jam.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, this looks, oh, okay, this is also from from this. I think like I'm excited to have even more stuff like that in the space where it's a jam leading into like a crowdfunder that people can like already have the thing that they've worked on or made, or have some type of like excitement that builds into, okay, cool, now that excitement can go somewhere instead of just being like, yeah, this is a thing that was made and that's it. So being able to take that excitement and to run with it at the end is always awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If Plus One was gonna host a jam, what would it be?
We hosted a couple jams. We're in the middle of hosting a jam right now, actually. We're doing a year-long.
Silly me.
That's fine. We're doing a year-long, very low-key jam. It's supposed to be low impact, and it is to create single PBTA moves that are reflections on this lived moment of time. So that can be a very personal thing. It could be about a game you're playing. It could be something that you created for another PBTA game, or it could just be something that's a reflection on like what you want to do differently in life right now, but don't feel the
Hmm.
ability to move forward for. So introspective, like small writing. Speaking of Chris Bissett, they just sent me one. They did.
Was it a
Go ahead.
was it expatriate? That might be a good one.
I don't think it was expatriate. Let's see what it was. This one, like this is called On a Miss, I think. I just popped it up on the screen next to us. Let me grab the link and drop it to y'all so you can see it too. This is On a Miss by Loot the Room. It's daily moves for imaginary games. So this is Chris just kind of didn't know we were doing the jam and was like, somebody just told me you're doing the jam. Here's what I've been up to. When you move through a place that you would rather you didn't exist, roll plus shadow and then lose a shadow token. On a hit, trade a risk for a step. Choose 2 on a 10 plus. Choose 1 on a 7 to 9. Don't lose a shadow token. Emerge into a place. Oh, this is a different one than they sent me the other day. Hold on, it's because they're doing daily moves, and I didn't. But
You're
we'll
on the
read
wrong
this
day.
one. You emerge into a place you shouldn't be, and no one knows it yet. Give your ally your positioning. They arrive where you are without cost. So this is just them. This is just them doing little moves. And it's been really cool. This is the one I read the other day. When you lean on someone who has more to lose than you do, roll plus ruthlessness. On a hit, it works. They move. On a 7 to 9, choose 1. What they give you is partial, bent, or already compromised. Spin to marker. Someone you didn't intend to get involved now knows your name. You get everything you wanted, and the city shifts slightly against you. The GM marks the clock. These are just things that are just little
That's
bits
fun.
of design poetry that Chris has come up with, and did not know we were doing the jam at the time. But yeah, it's basically just doing little bits of poetic proceduralized game design. Is the jam we're running all year long as just an encouragement for folks to make hard moves, and because life ain't always fun right now. I'll drop the link to Chris's stuff, and then we're doing a monthly live show on it. We've got that happening on Wednesday also too. So, but we've run Down We Go jams in the past. I want to do I want to do a toastin' jam for iToaster at some point in time. My brave little toaster inspired RPG, because I want to do some adventure anthologies and some print some stuff for that. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff there. Jams are a great way to do the thing. But Puzzle Dungeon Jam was tremendous also too, just the amount of work that went into it.
iToaster was the first thing that I ever bought from you guys.
Oh yeah, it would
Yeah.
have been Bryn from Exalted Funeral at that point in time, but now it's
Oh,
now
yes.
it's back, baby. I love iToaster. It was super fun to work with folks on. All right, let's see, where are we at? We are at the Wanderer's Bookshop. It's got a video on it also too. So we're gonna our normal rules for video is we will watch between 30 seconds and a minute of this video. For those of you, this is the part, Michael, that I was like doesn't always work if I just try to screen share. So we are gonna on the Wanderer's Bookshop watch a little bit of the video so that everybody else can see what's going on with it, and then we'll talk a little bit about the project.
Something keeps you awake at night. A question you have yet to answer.
What happened to Emily Bronte's second novel?
Where are the lost passions of Buck?
Did any poetry survive Baudelaire fire?
Without an answer, you're adrift. Wondering. The bookshop needs you. And it seems you need its magic. Come, find your white whale in the caretaking of the Wanderer's Bookshop. Will you unlock the secrets you've been desperate to find?
Got a nice little ASMR finish there. Quinn, this was one of your picks. Go ahead and tell us about the Wanderer's Bookshop.
It absolutely was. This is put together by Lola Johnson, who funded last year Universe at Your Door, which is a solo journaling space game. I feel like there's a lot of instances where I'm just like, Yes, and all of the stuff that I love and like are gross and disgusting and terrible. And then every once in a while, there's something that just gets past the armor, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is it's okay to fill stuff in games every once in a while. Um, but I've been staring at Stygian Library, all during the con we just got back from Dreamation, and it feels so like wonder. What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, Full of wonder. um, of just like exploring a place and trying to find the things that are lost to others and to time and uh to just be able to delve into locations and do that.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. So we've got it is a kind of a keepsake game. So we've got a mixed media solo journaling game. And the goal is to kind of find your white whale of kind of mysteries about books and track them down. Michael, are you a solo gamer? You do any solo play?
I wish I had more time to. I really like solo gaming. I wrote my own like solo journaling game about going to like video rental stores that you can find on itch and have a lot of fun with. I have been threatening myself to play Horse Girl for a long time,
Horse
which
Girl's
I'm
very
looking
good.
forward to. And then I like playing, classic dungeon games solo too. But this one definitely intrigues me. And so, Quinn, it sounds like you know a little bit more about it. So you're taking the real world books and then incorporating that and then journaling based on those. Is that how that works?
I believe that it is based, and I could be wrong, but I believe that it is based off of like your own set of books, and you are basically curating your little library.
Yeah.
Um,
I think if we're, commenting on the page and stuff, like
Yeah.
that Kickstarter video, it says, oh, well, what would Emily Bronte's next thing be or whatever it was. Like, I don't know if it's really made clear in the description of the campaign, like what the playing, what the procedure is really. And that was something I might want to see more of to understand exactly like how you do that, like how you bring in your own sources or how you look at other books for inspiration or whatever.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing a mix of tarot prompts,
Yeah.
dice rolling, and then you are curating a collection of ephemera. It looks like in order to build like a journal that is your like a representative of your library. So I think the way in which it would be like, hey, like this is your. I agree. I would love to know more about that. Let's look at an FAQ real quick, see if they answered it. Nope. The that you're like building your own like sample of it, because it's like take newspaper clippings, take pages out of books, like pull in little pieces of things that you've done and put them down to create this little analog book. There's also a like way to trade books and sources with each other. So like I think the sources it does imply are kind of like things you have collected to manipulate to do that. So I think it is with your own library, but also your own library in a way of like, do you want to rip a page out of this book or tear this thing apart or otherwise transform this work, which could be hand copying it. Like it doesn't require that. But yeah, I would love a little bit more about the actual play of that. Like, especially I'm a huge, I don't know if you're familiar. There's a TikTok and an Instagram thing. I don't know who the person is, but I have met them in person. I just don't know what they look like. Called Analog RPG. And they post pictures of their journals that they make as they play RPGs. When they go to a convention, they collect all the stickers and games that they play into that like thing. And it is a little journal that they are creating about their experience doing that. This has those vibes to me, but seeing pictures of Analog's RPGs journals immediately makes me wish that they had made a journal that they were showcasing on this page so that we could see kind of what is the worked example of what you're doing with this to kind of solve that issue. And it's not too late because you've still got Days of Funny, but the project's doing really great. They've got they're doing digital community copies, which we always love to see. And there's a lot of great commentary on like the writing process or the curation process here specifically. So I love Lola's work. Super excited about this one. Any final thoughts from anybody though? Oh, we got Alex on there doing some art.
I mean, if I'm the assistant librarian and this is about being a librarian, maybe I need to check it out.
You do. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like it
I
may
think
be a
so.
job prerequisite, and so
Yeah.
the list of contributors they have for a lot of stretch goals are also all really great people I love for the most part. And so and they're also doing a cross collab with Threads We Share. I love the collab. Have you messed around with the backer kit cross collab stuff much, Michael?
No, I have never run a campaign on BackerKit. So, but I know, I know people are doing it, and it seems to be working out well for them, which is great. I think it's a cool function for sure.
I think right project for every company and for everybody. BackerKit feels so much more chill every time we run a BackerKit project. It's inherently less stressful to me. And it's just some of the way the tools are curated. But we got to do our first cross collab piece, and it was a lot of fun with Black Flies encrypted shows. So yeah, like I said, we go back and forth on what we use, but I do love a BackerKit project, and so cool. Let's hop over to the Black Tower hack, which is compatible with Black Sword hack, which is one of my favorite hacks that has black in it. Also, too, this is by Coffee All Night Games. I want to shout out because I've been joking around with them. I think this is Coffee's first Zine Quest or Zine Month, and the first time, if it is not, it's the first time I have interacted with them extensively. The amount of support they have showed the community, how active they've been in the Discord, sharing other people's projects, constantly lifting other people up. It's been on my list to look at this project the entire time. I really wanted to include it in this roundup just because I thought it would pair well with some of it's not because Coffee's in the chat right now. They did Kickstarter last year. Either way, it's been really great to see them just kind of consistently lifting people up and supporting the community. I want to make sure we shout it out. And so, yeah. So this is about gunslingers traveling across a dying world of magic and mayhem on a quest to find the Black Tower, sitting at the center of it all. The Black Tower hack is an NSRTT RPG built on the Black Sword hack, and not surprisingly, inspired by Stephen King's The Dark Tower series. It is currently almost double its funding with 86 backers, and it's got about 4 days left in it also too. Coffee says in chat, it's the community has been the best part of it all. It is my favorite thing about Zine Month. The real zines are the friends we make along the way, and that's why we put staples right down the middle of them. The devil fled across the desert. The world has moved on. The shining kingdoms and civilized traditions of old have been brought to ruin. Folks struggle to survive as they were preyed upon by monsters, twisted sorcery, and the very fabric of reality unraveling around them. Even time itself has begun to break down. The monstrous children of the Red Mother, led by the scheming wizard Brother Jack, seek to topple the Black Tower, the hub on which the wheel of all worlds spin. And the gunslingers followed. So you are playing as gunslingers, following people seeking to end the world. Quinn, are you a Dark Tower fan?
I have dabbled. Nowhere near as much as I'd like to, but yeah, I know more about it in passing than and from like friends having conversations about it. But
I don't like Stephen King's writing. I think Stephen King's a good writer. The Stephen King's pacing is so hard for me to deal with so often. Stephen King's short stories I like. Also, Stephen King's writing is incredibly varied depending on how many drugs he was using at a given point in his career. And I will say the funny thing is, the closer they get to being in the proper and the closer oriented they are to the Dark Tower, the more palatable I find them. But I also don't particularly love the Dark Tower series, which is just a really weird thing. Like I love the idea of it. Books 1.5 I think are excellent, and then I get a little lost along the way. Michael, what about you? Do you visit the tower from time to time?
No, I've never visited the tower, and I heard the movie adaptation was pretty terrible. So, yeah, but I mean, this definitely interests me. Like, my initial thoughts are like it's cool that they have like some representation someone in a wheelchair on some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Is it worth looking at this the preview, the 50-page preview?
Oh yeah,
And looking through that, it's at the very top of the page.
There we go. Did I
It looks
miss
like
it?
you have to download it
Oh yeah,
through
here let's
Itch.
pop it open real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the idea of the Dark Tower, which is why the Black Tower hack would be very interesting to me, because I'm like, yeah, I would rather play this than do something else. It's just been a little weird lately. We're just gonna go to the downloads. We are just gonna download. We're just gonna pop this open. Is it gonna pop up in the screen the way I need it to? Nope.
No, it never will.
I mean, that is one critique I would have. And whenever you have to access a preview by like going through several other steps, I think it really turns people off.
Yeah.
Like just put it in a Google Drive link,
Yeah, I think it depends on what the preview is, but it's a 50-page one. I will go through the work. Like if it's big enough, I will. And the only problem here is just the way I have the screen captured isn't going to pull it up on screen right away. I'd have to go in and reset things. But yeah, I do think you want to make it easy on people. Like I get the pay what you want. The hard thing is you've got to do kind of pay what you want if you're using Itch, because it's how you claim people and are able to communicate with them via marketing stuff later. And so there is like it would be great if Itch would just make it so you could just do it for free. And not have to do as much to make it happen. But yeah, I also, if you have the ability to do like put your email in here and we'll drop it in your email, something that feels like it's one step, even if it is multiple steps, I think is super helpful. The art on this is gorgeous. I love the pencil sketch quality the whole way through. I think there's some great, like, just quick quotes in here. There's a lot of verticality to it that I probably would have tried to cut down with some, like I'd probably do some mock-ups to just like get that in. But I do love that strong, like, the Black Tower hack image with the tower kind of cutting down the middle of the lighter things and folks framed against the thing. I do think that's a really solid and strong piece, and I'm really glad it's at the top of the campaign also too. So yeah, Quinn, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, the thing that caught my eye was the 5 unique magic systems. The mutations, miracles of weary god, rites of the vulgar gods, shimmer powers, and way of the gun. I've just been, skimming over these, but I'd be interested to see like it to what depth they all go.
Yeah.
Because I feel like magic systems are always that tricky thing where it's just like if you do too much with it, then it kind of becomes like convoluted and distracting. But if you don't do enough with it, then it's like, is this magic or is this just like a fancy way of saying a thing? But yeah, I don't want to jump to conclusions, so I am excited to like see what that entails.
Yeah, I will say the quick start does have a really beautiful it's a really beautiful mix of archival art and stock art. Like layout's good, crisp. To the magic system and Coffee just dropped it in. They're all unique but very simple. Black Sword Hack gets a lot of love for how the magic system explicitly works. Like that is one of the things that constantly gets called out. Of the spells are very evocative, but not overly complicated in their execution. So like, to your point, I actually think it's a really good basis for this type of game and this type of play also too, if that's what you're looking for. Yeah.
I would really like to check this game out. I'd love to play in a session of this game. I've never been able to find a like Western system that I feel like really works for me. So it'd be cool to see if this one does.
Western systems are one of the hardest. We do publish a couple of them and have a few in process right now, but like there's so much we try to navigate as we're going into that every single time. Let's pop forward to Null Space over on Itch. This is Binary Star Games, a regular member of our Discord. Great creator. Really, really love the work that they do. But Quinn, this is one of your picks. I'm glad we got another Itch funding project on here. This is just using the sale function on Itch to create a funding project. Tell us a little bit about Null Space.
Yeah. So Just all off the top, like you said, I wanted to get a little bit more love for all of the different places, as opposed to it just being back and forth with Kickstarter and backer kit. Which again, tons of solid projects on, but being able to decouple from those is always nice because again, looking towards Zine Month and not specifically any specific places exciting. But Null Space, welcome to the 24th century. You are a freelancer in the solar system of the 24th century. Experience the faded glory of Earth, the industrial warrens of Mars, and futuristic dystopias of. Come on, Braid, you got this.
Ganymede.
Ganymede. Yep, that's what I was going to say.
It's like, let me go look at what it is. Yeah.
But especially try to survive in the no man's land between it all, Null Space. I do words for a living, y'all. um, yeah, no, this has been popping up on on my feed and like in the general places that I've been perusing. But right now, I was just like, yeah, actually, I think that in this last episode, giving this a once over, giving it some love.
Yeah. I really love the way that they are doing some of their tiers on this. I'll talk about the game in a second, but they're really taking advantage of the platform as well. Because they are using the fact that you can do subsequent digital releases on itch and you can just update the files as you go, since it's your one of the core platforms you sell on, to say, hey, if they release supplementary content in the future, which is their plan, that if you pledge at certain levels, you'll just automatically get that. This is very much like the downloadable content or DLC like mode of of funding also too. They're also cruising along. Like for itch funding, this is one of the highest itch funding projects I've seen.
Yeah.
It's at a little under $2,500 right now, for the goal of $3,000. And the other nice thing about itch is if you don't fund in the time you had, you just go, cool, we're just gonna keep on going till we get there.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty impressive because if you look at the top of the page too, it says the average contribution is over $31, and that's very impressive for itch. And it's hard to find that many people to get to your itch page. You have to really develop a following in order to get those kind of sales numbers on itch, especially in a very specific period of time. So this creator, I think, has done a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, Binary's done a couple of their games already, both Apocalypse Frame and Valiant Horizon, that have really developed some really good audiences. This is super active in community spaces, really great person. Like, I think it makes it really easy when you have that kind of consistency. Like, they aren't doing consistency in output like we do, like in the sense of they're not releasing tons of games all the time. They go deep into what they are doing. They share and show their work throughout the course of the process, and really kind of consistently put out what they're doing so people can be aware of it, so that when they go to do things like do this type of funding, people are aware it's coming and ready to support it, and have a good sense of what's going to be in it. So they're also just doing a lot of really great, like they're not diving super deep into mechanics. A couple easy spreads on here. The page looks good, but like they're giving you a little bit of a sense of like what are the things that are important with some of these bullet points, like it's get to work. Like it's very task focused, that it's flexible in approach. So you're going to use keywords to talk about how you're approaching challenges or complications, like within the course of a conflict. It's a very narrative system. Like it's giving you a sense of what it's doing without just being like, this is a D20 roll under system, like, or whatever, whatever else there might be. They built it on a novel system called Total Effect, which uses the same base game that Valiant Horizon, one of their other games, is built on. So they're building this ecosystem of play that they're able to really draw people into, and I think that's tremendous. Any final thoughts?
Looks cool.
There we go.
And I think it's said that for everything so far. but I guess we wouldn't be talking about something that didn't look cool. So
We might. I mean, it's happened before. And one of mine is like, I mean, and like what cool means varies project to project. I will say also too. Actually, last week in the middle of everything, there was a project that I was just like, I don't know, this isn't for me at all. And we don't know if that footage survived, so we don't have to go back over that. But let's talk about the Spear of Horrendous Iron. Possibly one of the coolest names of a game so far. It's surprisingly designed for Shadow Dark RPG. It's got a video, so I'm going to give us at least 30 seconds of the video, and then Michael will have you tell us a little bit more about the game.
Sure.
I was not ready for this music. That's a minute.
Yeah.
I do love when people pick something at the 30-second mark. Like, 'cause it's cool to consistently see this has become a practice. Like, the 30-second mark may be a little slow, but then you get to like the 30-second mark and they're like, and dear sister, may I say, fuck feudalism in the video. Like, it's like, okay, cool. You have certainly bought yourself another 30 seconds with that. Let's go. This is actually a really distinctive video also. Like I said, I really love that music, like that driving beat, and the index card, which I think is also supposed to indicate like, hey, I'm writing a letter here to you, is a really smart use of probably slides in order to build a video, and it worked out really well, I think. So
yeah, and actually that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of drawn to Sam's project here, which is the layout and then also the digital tools which he's using along with this. So, I don't know if it's possible for you, Tony, if you scroll down towards the bottom under digital play aid, there's a link to maybe check out the Lost Citadel of the Scarlet Minotaur. And if you're able to open that, you can see that Sam has developed these little play aids that are sort of in the theme of these index cards to help people run through adventures.
That's cool.
Yeah,
so, as long as it's browser based, which it is,
yes,
it's easy.
is.
Like, had that PDF on itch opened into my browser, it would have been fine. It just doesn't do that. This is really cool, though.
Yeah, so if you click around here, you can see like every, you can open up the editor cap or you can open up whatever, and that kind of helps you play the game. And I think this is of course for a Shadow Dark project, and he can put this together because of the third-party license. But my understanding is it's going to be a little more fleshed out for his own project.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have to worry about write stuff and stuff like that. So
well, this is cool because you can copy it like to a clipboard, or you can just hit print and it'll print out. Which if you have if you actually wanted them on index cards, and your printer will do that, you're all set. That's cool.
So he's developing a lot of really cool tools and like really leaning into this sort of index card aesthetic. And I think that's a really cool kind of way to go about it, a simple way to do it, and something that's going to be easy to run for folks too. The adventure itself is about, it looks like it's got a bunch of different factions: anarchists, giants, ogres, regular people, the taxmen, a dragon, and druids. So I don't know that much about what all is the adventure's about, but I know Sam, who I've met in person at a Gary Con, seems like a nice guy. He's also very involved in the Shadow Dark community. So it's something that I've pledged for and I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So
their bio says into dungeon games, index cards, and Shakespeare. Is their beard blue in real life?
I don't think it was when I met him, but that doesn't mean that it's not now.
Doesn't mean it's not. It just
Yep.
means that we don't know.
Yep.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to look at. I love that Kickstarter doesn't always give you just a back button and you have to do weird click through things. There we go. Back to the project. Yeah, art and design looks good. Quinn, what are your thoughts?
I think that the stream might have dropped. Um,
It still says we're live right now, so we're going to keep on going. I will hit record
okay.
in case we start having shenanigans again.
Yeah, shenanigans. We love them. I think similar to what we were talking about, let's see, 2 weeks ago now, with Axolotl with a gun, from our friends over
Breitbart?
at yes, Breitbart, where we were talking about like videos being extremely important, and being able to put together a video that doesn't take like a whole lot of like money or time, and still being able to like get the idea across for your project. And it's like being able to show that in multiple ways, of whether that's like the physical product directly in front of you and you being like, this is how you play the game, or being like, hey, this is a vibe, and if you're already down with this vibe, then like this thing is for you.
Yeah.
And I think something that I neglected to mention, but one of the tiers you can pledge for too has physical index cards of all those pieces of information too. So you don't have to print them out yourself. You can just have them at the ready when you're running the adventure.
That feels like
Yeah.
cheating. No, I mean, again, this is such a good lesson in like, hey, you may not have a brand, but do you? Also too, like just saying like, here's the things I want to put the things I like together, the things I use at home. Like I want to think about that and how I put things into my project is a really great lesson. And this is such a clear articulation of that. Yeah, this is very, very cool. Super excited to see what Sam kind of gets up to on this. I'm going to guess based on the fact that we dropped and then shot back up in viewers that we probably did have a bounce out on things, but not as bad as last week apparently. So if you're out there and watching, let us know that you can see us or hear us. If you can't see us or hear us, you won't be able to let us know that. But yeah, we've got a couple more projects we're going to chat through, and let's get through it. All good now, Coffee All Night says, cool. Let's talk about Dungeon Death. This is on Michael and my's list. It is a project, probably the one I've been the most excited about. It's also ended up being a little prescient because Baron just announced over on their channel that they want to do a video game Shadow Dark Jam this year, and this is a 16-bit video game Shadow Dark RPG. I got a preview copy of this at PAX from Josh, who is a Delaware native but spends a lot of time in Philadelphia. It is, I would consider, a friend also too, and we all know friendship is my greatest bias. But Michael, tell us why this one caught your eye.
Yeah, I actually met Josh too at Page for the first time. He came up and he's like, "Oh, I'm working on this cool thing." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that. It looks dope." But the art style really jumped out to me at this with this, and then just like the different classes. If you look in the preview, which does open in a browser, I just tried it myself. You can see a good idea of like what's going on there. It does have like those video game vibes, but it is also still like very distinctively Shadow Dark, which I think is like, you know, I think it's great to take the chassis of Shadow Dark and then alter it rather than having to build from the ground up. I think it makes it more marketable and more familiar to people who are invested in that system. I think it's a smart move. If you look at things like the maps are kind of unique. They're not the traditional grid with boxes that represent rooms. They're kind of isometric and have a lot more flavor than you would see otherwise. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a cool project. Like I said, I met Josh. He seems like a Josh. It's Josh, right?
Yeah.
Seems like a really enthusiastic guy who's just out there making cool stuff that he wants to share with the world. So this was an easy back for me.
Yeah. Also, if you are thinking about doing that jam that Baron DeRop is hosting, like this should be no questions pick up, because it'll give you a lot of great templating. Josh has also offered to help anybody who's curious on like their process, to dive in a little bit more deeply to that. JP Couvert calling out, maybe it's when JP got on, maybe that's what happened. We got that Tiger Wizard art on here, like that's creating that visual aesthetic. Who's special projects over at Exalted Funeral. Really gorgeous stuff. And we've got Craig on this also too, our favorite buddy to go get dim sum with, who works for DCC folks, too. Works for Goodman. Just really, really great crew. And yeah, the book is done. You can kickflip it. They're just trying to print it. And so JP said they've been here the whole time, so they promise the tech difficulties are not them. Yeah, Josh also learned a lesson on their first one. I will give a little shout out. That you have to charge enough for your zine if you want to sell it wholesale and put it in distro and other stuff like that. You got to make sure you're charging a rate that allows you to do that and still make money, because it's very easy to not take a lot of those things into account. And if you're just like, hey, I just want my zine to be my little goofy thing that I do, and I don't care, and I just want to make it $10, like that's fine. I will always back a $10 zine. Like, you're never gonna catch me not hitting you up for that. But if you want to be able to wholesale it to retailers, put it in consignment with online vendor, all those other things, you got to charge more for it. So they've got it for a really great price this time around, and it's a really gorgeous product. Quinn, any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you put something through the lens of either a video game or cursed media, you've already gotten me.
Yeah.
And I just love an NES cartridge. Yeah, I mean, it's dope. Go back it.
Really love it. We've got two more projects we're going to cruise through, give you a little bonus here. One is Harvest Rot, which has a video. We're going to put it up. It's a well-known creator, like within the Borg and other communities, but this is their first time doing a crowdfunding project. So we're going to check out Harvest Rot, a folk horror adventure for Morkborg. We're going to hit that video and see what at least 30 seconds of it are like. I can't handle the silence. So we are going to say it is just a flip through of the book. And I think this is fine. I don't know that it's adding anything to the project. And with no backing track, it is something that I don't know that a lot of people will sit through. I would just throw some music over this, or even talk through it if I was recording this, for me for home, or for a project we're doing. My first project had a lot of me figuring out how to situate my cell phone over the top of like a printed out version of things and talking through some of the core mechanics and a couple other things and breaking those down into little videos. I do think that can be, there was no audio issue. It just didn't have any. But it's got this Wakla, I can't remember Wakla's last name, or how to pronounce it. I'm going to say Treyer, which may be a horrible butchering of it. Art as the cover for it. It's got a headless horseman on top. Wakla does a lot of almost like watercolor or oil paint style stuff for a lot of really cool games. But Trutino has done a lot of, like I said, has been around the design community for a while. This is just their first time doing it. I wanted to shout it out because, again, I think, like, for me, when I look at projects like this is actually the thing I love about Zine Month and Zine Quest, right? Is the ability for somebody being like, hey, I've got a little thing, I want to put it together, get some art, get it printed. And that's what I got. We've got a little digital preview here. It's going to go over to itch, so we'll have the same exact issues if I try to download it. But you can check out a little bit of a preview for it. It's a cool little setting. They've got their own version of Morkborg that they're also including called for some other things called Iborg, which is an absurdist version of it set in the far future. A lot of cool little things that they have added in on this project. And I also, this is the image I really wanted to talk about. Their stretch goal map is just a hand done map of them, like has a little hand done map by them at the very top of it. That just is like going around to a bunch of different things and then just says, we're actually just keeping it simple. Like, we're just trying to get the thing made, and we've got some other stuff that you can get also too. So I don't know, what are y'all's thoughts about this one?
I like the little hand-drawn art style of that map. It's also in the preview too. Um, yeah, I think it's cool. Like I said, all of this stuff is. I'm really interested to learn more about what an absurdist version of Morkborg is, especially if it's futuristic. So that definitely has my interest peaked.
Yeah, because Morkborg is typically so serious. Quinn, how about you?
Yeah, I again just like really enjoy something that can be a smaller page count and just like get a idea across. Something that's just like, hey, this is the adventure. That this is what it fits into. Um, I think that like I've seen a lot of like American folk horror stuff. But I am curious of like how it strikes into it. Obviously we're seeing like Headless Horseman and things along those lines, but just like curious to the extent of all of it.
Yeah. Folk horror is also such a vibe. Like, um, folk horror works in a number of different cultural contexts, and which I would say most of them are European and American. We could also just say that they're pretty white. Like, I'm always curious what folk horror interpretation means for folks and how they're going to dive into that specifically. So like I'm super into the fact that like this is taking kind of like Galgenbeckian and Morkborgian sensitivities and mixing those two things together, because like Sweden is one of the areas, if you were like, this is folk horror and it's set in Sweden, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks, right? Like, so this and this doesn't feel hat on hat. This feels like saying like, oh, we want to emphasize something that should be very present already. Like, it's a really, really cool element. Cool. And then the last thing we're going to talk about that I threw on at the last minute is the League of Dark Few, a DCC and Shadow Dark zine series. It's 100% funded on their goal, sitting a little over $3,000 with 152 backers. I picked this one because it drives home one of my other points that I talk about a lot. And I talked to Zinni, the creator. They're active in the Zemo Discord, a little bit about it also too. Because again, like they are not just like Shadow Dark is the core books, and I think almost every single one of the supplements I've seen so far, except for Hellfast Spire, all tend to be monochrome. They're black and white, or they have a halftone. Like they all have a like they I think Shadow Dark does a really good job of actually feeling distinctive from title to title, but I think people tend to say what worked really well in the core book, cool, now we want to make our book look like that to match it, right? And we see this a lot as people kind of like aping or parroting what's happening. I think Morkborg is like the one where this is most common, but it happens in I think every design system, right? Like you could show me the cover art from a bunch of games with probably no graphic design on it, and it would be pretty easy to tell system to system what people are probably designing for. And again, I love it when people say, I want to use that system, I want to design directly for it, but I want to make something that looks really distinctive. And the League of Dark Few isn't like going into the DCC or Shadow Dark vibes, or doing a mix of the two of them. And I think that's really cool, and just wanted to shout it out. It's a faction-led adventure saga for city campaigns, which has there been a lot of city campaign work done for Shadow Dark yet?
I mean, the City of Mask just got released.
That's right.
But it hasn't actually been published yet, in physical form. I think some other people have taken whacks at cities, third-party publishers, but I think people are going to be really excited once they start reading City of Masks.
Yeah. No, the whole setting that Kelsey's been working on for all that stuff has been really tremendous to see taking shape also too. Like, but yeah, I thought this was kind of like one of the first like ones out, and it's putting a lot of faction stuff in. Pardon me. Which means whatever city you're playing in, it should nestle into pretty well also too. It's all really crisp and clean layout like here. Like there's like most of the things I would want for a like city guide, this is doing pretty well. It's giving me little tools to kind of scatter all over the place. But one of the big things I love, if this is what this says a 6-panel pamphlet adventure. This looks like it may be an A5 pamphlet. A5 pamphlet is one of my favorite formats of adventure because you can put it right on top of a zine and it's going to be the exact same size. It's easy to carry, it's easy to move around. But the amount of information that you can do on a 6-fold pamphlet, especially with different map layouts or point cross stuff or other elements, is really superior. The downside is you cannot print them out well. They do not print out easily in any way, shape, or form. But what are y'all's thoughts on this?
I keep jumping back to one of the line on the hero image of a guild house based adventure saga for city campaigns, and those are just a selection of words that I keep rolling around in my head, and I'm like, yes, this is what I've always wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool how they've kind of, like you were saying, Tony, have taken Shadow Dark and not just use that template. And I know before I said, oh, like, you know, the Josh's was like, oh, it's great that it's sort of using the template, but I think this has effectively changed it as well. You know, I agree with you too on that, like the A5 pamphlet, which I see in the preview that I pulled up, but I don't think I've seen that in person yet, which is I can see why it would be very effective, especially when you think of like the Shadow Dark GM screen, which is, you know, essentially a 4-fold A5 pamphlet. Like I think that would make it very usable at the table and easy to cart around. So I'm actually backing it right now because I think it's cool.
Yeah. So the common place you would see an A5 pamphlet would be in Mouse Ritter. That is the system that makes regular. So if you have the Mouse Ritter core box, you do have some A5.
I do have that
in there, and that's what they're on. We may have talked about this a little bit last week or in a previous stream. I think the real win. Oh no, I was talking about this with Yohai and Brad. The real win would be printing things to be folded for legal size paper where you're getting more information, but you could also print them on a home printer if you wanted to. Either way, like I said, I really like the format. We're looking for Formula Infinity, our Orbital Blues thing, making the tracks that size so that you can kind of fold them out and put them in the middle of the table. I think there's just really cool things you can do with table presence. I'm also really interested to see the level, like the 0 level adventure, come to Shadow Dark, because that's one of the things they're bringing in here, which already has enough lethality in it that I'll be really interested to see what happens when people start playing around with that concept, and always like seeing people kind of just flex that in as an idea also too. So like I said, Zinni's been just really active member of the community, really cool project. As soon as I saw them pop it up and that it was Shadow Dark, I was like, oh, tell me about your decision to just totally do something different visually, because it will always catch me if I'm like, oh, you made it for this, but you made it look different. It might catch me in a bad way. This one doesn't. Like if you're like, oh, we used AI art or like really bad stock art, or like didn't do good graphic design. That happens sometimes also too. That's not the case here. Like there's a real intentionality to the way that everything's been arranged, and not surprisingly, like Anthony, the creator, great name, is a graphic designer also too. Like that's their bailiwick. The other last thing I'll call out visually, and it's in the Darkness Dweller's Handbook, and I can't remember if this is a normal Shadow Dark thing. I know it's a normal Charlie Ferguson Avery design quality, but the way they have their NPCs done with a strong NPC image at the top, you got to wait for the page for it to pop up. But with a strong NPC image at the top, there we go. And then like the text describing the NPC down below it. It's one of my favorite things that I'll see in some OSR systems. I think, like I said, I think Charlie Ferguson Avery from Feral Indie is the one who really popularized that style, but it's a really effective way to tie your NPC to a very specific visualization also too.
You see that in Dungeon Volume 1, Valley of Flowers
Yeah,
did
yeah,
that
yeah.
really well. Hmm.
Yeah, it's become more common. It's just I think a really smart way to do it. Robbie will do. I think in Candleberry Jam, we have a couple NPCs that are presented that way. Other ones are just on a map of relationships. There's just a lot of really cool ways to do it, but some really cool things that are being thought through here visually by Anthony also too. Cool. That's everything we had, and a little bit of extra time as we got lost in the sauce. But like, I want to go back again to you. I know you said you don't want to talk about the next project yet, and that's fine. But give us, for folks who maybe joined us late, give us that final pitch for Hellfast Spire. Also, too, I dropped the link in there. So for folks who maybe weren't here with us at the beginning, tell us what it's all about.
Sure. Yeah. Under the Shadow of Hellfast Spire. It's written by Bob Worldbuilder and edited by me. It's an adventure with a hex crawl and a dungeon for new player character classes for the Shadow Dark, I should say. Got new monsters, new magic items, and all that good stuff in there. You can get it for $8 for the PDF or $16 on its own for the physical version. There you can also get that, bundle it with other Bob Worldbuilder stuff like Delve, which is a Shadow Dark book that he wrote and kickstarted a while ago, and other adventures that he's written for other systems. And you can also get one of my zines in there too, creating and adapting monsters for Shadow Dark RPG, which is something that I made for Zine Quest last year, and sort of has this a really nice evergreen appeal to people who are getting into the system, which is really cool. So if you're looking for to support a cool zine during Zine Quest and are into Shadow Dark, I think that Under the Shadow of Hellfast Spire is a fun adventure that you will enjoy.
Awesome. And one of the reviews says the editing on this book is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
too. So you absolutely have to go check it out. If you want to support us and the things we're doing here, like I said, you can go check out Merker of Morks over on Kickstarter. That is an Omni Borg cross-Borg universe battle royale in a horrible game show. Basically, the horrible voice at the center of it all, Mr. Least, has pulled you into the interwebs and is making you perform for his entertainment. There's some really cool time sync elements, and character creation has been simplified even further, so that if you lose one Mork, you can just roll up another one. You can find that at ttrpg.link/Merker. We're dropping that down below. Also, if you want to support us, the best way to do that actually is to join Zine Club at RPGZine.Club. Every month we put out a new story game and a new adventure game. This month we put out 2 extra games because it's Zine Month also. So we have Bear Witness, Heir of Swords 86th, and The Soothe Warden's Quick Start, all of which came out this month. 4 amazing titles that we're super excited about. Heir of Swords is a solo adventure point crawl using a tarot deck. And Bear Witness is all about if you go through your mundane slice of life activities every single day, but also you have a woman you're keeping captive in your basement who may be a portal to a realm of divinity. I mean, who knows? There's only one way to find out, and that's to play. 86 is a game about solo game about losing your passion, specifically about working in a restaurant. And Soothe Wardens is a 2+ player RPG where you're linked to each other. It's super strategic and tactical. There's no dice rolling. It's all about resource management, and each class works as its own little mini game by Navarre Jackson. Go check all that out, along with anything else over at Zine Club at RPGZine.Club. You can check out all the rest of the stuff that we do there. Also, tomorrow we have a couple cool things coming up. We have, if I can figure out where it is, our last Zine Month stream with Mike Martins. The Layout Rogues Guild is what it's called. Mike is going to present a manifesto on why you should steal other people's layout choices and how to steal other people's layout choices. And I'm not saying that Mike is coming after Johan Noor, but I'm pretty sure Mike is coming after Johan Noor tomorrow night. So if you want to learn more about how you steal things from other creators and incorporate them into your own design practice. Come and join us tomorrow night for the Layout Rogues Guild. Mike's Everything You Wanted to Know About Layout But We're Afraid to Ask workshop we've done is one of our most popular videos over on our YouTube channel. Super excited to have them as part of our final learning element here in Zine Month. And then we're going to be at Gamma this coming week. So if you're going to be at Gamma, we're going to get to hang out. Michael, you going to Gamma?
No, I couldn't fit it in my schedule this year.
Well,
so,
that's
I'm kind of bummed.
That's
Next
fine,
year.
I guess. Is Kelsey going to be there? Who's going to protect
No,
Kelsey?
next year we'll be there in full force, I think, with the Western Reaches box sets and stuff.
Awesome.
It'll be, I think it'll be pretty exciting. So,
the Herbivarian, yes, that was Heir of Swords. Well, it is one of my favorite conventions, and next year is the best time to start going because it's in Baltimore, which is way easier for me. Louisville's great. Baltimore is 8 hours closer to me, and so I'm very excited about the move. We'll be hanging out in the Zemo Discord. If you are looking for any kind of support for your own Zine Month project or looking for a great way to support indie creators, reach out to us at +1EXP. You can find our Discord at ttrpg.link/Discord. Quinn, if people want to find you on the internet, where's the best place to find you?
Probably on Blue Sky. You can find me on Quinn Blackwell.
Excellent, Michael. And if people want to support your work, Michael, what's the best place for them to work?
nightnoon.games. The URL nightnoon.games is pretty good. And Tony, I just want to thank you for everything you do for the hobby. You guys are doing a great job, and you're a big cheerleader for everyone, and it's great to see. And thanks for having me on.
Awesome. So glad to have you here, and glad we're getting to do some work together because as an elder millennial, I don't know how to separate personal relationships from professional relationships. So working with somebody is just becoming better friends with them because we live in a capitalist hellscape. All right. This has been Now You've Seen It Roundup. Now you zine us. Now you zon't. That works. It's fine.